to bring things back to the original discussion, before we have to cut things off, because we're about 7-10 minutes before we're at the limit. Hi, Kat. Yes, I understand you wanted attention exactly right now. Hi.
Yay,
Oh, baby.
Kitty.
Nope, you don't get to walk away from that. You came in here, you interrupted my
What is
job.
the cat's opinion on
Pet the
hopecore?
baby.
The baby is receiving all of the pets.
What's your cat's name?
This one is my girlfriend's cat, and it's Cutie Pie. And we don't know what happened because Cutie Pie was an asshole cat when we started dating. And since we've been living together, Cutie Pie has mellowed out and has attached herself to me at the hip. And I have not done anything aside from feed this creature. I don't know why she's like this with me, but she is.
That's it.
That's
it. You finished.
I mean, I'm way nicer to people who feed me as well. So,
You know, that's entirely fair.
I mean, I always find that if I want my introverted friends to go out and do something, I just have to go, there's food and I'm paying.
That is a strategy that I have used a few times. For me, it's come over to my house and play games. I'm making butter chicken. And that usually does it pretty quickly.
Me too.
I'm just like, I'm making a vat of insert good, like fun, really delicious food here. There will be an unlimited supply of it, and there will also be Magic the Gathering and Smash Brothers. Have fun.
hell yeah.
But
there was. Sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead, Kyla.
Well, because, to kind of bring it back to hopecore, I did want to touch on something we mentioned way back when Crimes, you were mentioning about the game where essentially death was at the center of it. And it reminded me of another game that I played a long time ago, so pardon me if I don't remember it all, but it was called The Mortician's Tale. And it's like a much more calmer and meditative version of, like, you're obviously a mortician and you're going through the motions, but you're like discovering who this person was. You're kind of having this meditative experience while you're working on this body. And it kind of seems like hopecore to me, where you find more appreciation for life and death, and you get that kind of feeling of like, compared to like another mortician game, the name is escaping me, where it's just a straight up horror game.
I've seen that one. Yeah.
Is it Mortician's Assistant?
Yeah.
That you're thinking of?
Yes.
Okay.
That is exactly it. Mortician's Assistant, where it's just, spooky, scary skeletons. And I don't know. I find like maybe I thought that was going to be something in and of itself, like more death positive games, but I guess it kind of stopped, and these two at least got roped into our hopecore genre at the moment.
This looks really cool. I'm definitely adding it to my wish list.
So,
yeah.
I do have a couple of hopecore games that I've played that might definitely fall in. One is Alien Tale Tavern. You literally just run a tavern with your friends. And the problems you deal with are like, I need to go gather resources, and it might involve a little bit of violence, but otherwise we're mostly just running the tavern. And then the fun part for me is the cute little owl helpers you get, who are like your waiters and your cleanup crew and that kind of thing, because you can pet them and feed them and get them upgrades. It's really just kind of just a nice little cozy, I'm gonna run a tavern and ignore the world.
What I'm interested in, and because this is a thing that tends to, with everything that is genre specific always goes through this metamorphosis. I am interested to see how this conversation will change 2 years from now. Because every single time we get a new variant of a term to describe something that maybe they're like for hopecore stuff, we're looking at a lot of games that previously existed and were just called other things. So you look at Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley. Those are cozy games. They are farming sims, but then you can get somebody saying, well, Stardew Valley's hopecore. I'm interested to see how that conversation's going to evolve moving forward, because what usually happens is we get a word that describes a set of things that we understand right now, a set of things that exist right now, and then the inverse happens, where people look at that word and go, but that's the foundation I'm working from, let me make a thing with this foundation, and there's where you get something that's a lot more interesting. So, like, easy example of this historically for anybody who might not know, Mario 64 was one of the first collectathon platformers, but that term for that genre of game was not really used that much. And then you go to nowadays, if you play a game like Yooka-Laylee, that's a game that looks at the idea of the collectathon platformer and then goes, I am that, and also I'm going to make fun of it because it's the people who made Banjo-Kazooie. You see people who go, well, we've lived in a world where this definition has described this thing. Now I get to play around with the definition. Now I get to do things based on your expectations, as opposed to we're using this term to describe things we've previously experienced.
And to use an even older example of something like that happening, the original XCOM came out in 1992, and anything that was like a tactics game was described as XCOM.
Or
and
like FPSs being Doom clones.
Or FPS being Doom clones. And then like Final Fantasy Tactics came out and they were like, oh, these are just tactics games. And then you go back and you retroactively label all those things tactics games.
Yup.
Or the Doom clone issue. And then I think it was, I want to say it wasn't Halo. It was something that came out before Halo, where someone coined first-person shooter as the idea of the game. And I want to say it was a congressman when they were trying to make the ESRB a thing.
Oh,
God, I feel old.
was it the first Call of Duty?
Let me hold on.
I feel like it would be earlier than that, because I feel like I've heard FPS. It might have been Doom.
No,
Was it Doom or Wolfenstein? No, Quake.
Quake, I think.
Okay. Quake 1 and
Yes,
Unreal Tournament 1 were when we went from calling them Doom clones to first-person shooters.
From what I'm looking up, PC Gamer magazine is credited with using the first-person shooter term the first time in gaming spheres. Was when that term seems to have been coined. I could be incorrect there. There might be some other area where that etymology comes from, like when the conversation of what is the first game, was it Pong, was it Tennis for Two, was it... There's always going to be somewhere that rabbit hole goes deeper where somebody can correct me. But yeah, the first-person shooter one is definitely a good example of that, because I have never grown up in a world where Doom clone was the descriptor for one of those games, because I'm 30-something. So my world was growing up playing Turok, playing Quake, playing Duke Nukem, and I understood them all to be first-person shooters. And then my dad had an Xbox, so when I would go to visit him, I asked him to get Halo 2 because I wanted to play in Halo 2 tournaments, but I didn't have an Xbox. So I would play at his house to practice, so that when I went home and went to the card shop, I could then play and not be complete ass at the game. And when I was playing it, he's obviously much older than me. He's my dad. He walks in, looks at the screen, and goes, "Oh, it's Doom." His vernacular was still set in, that's a Doom clone. Wolfenstein 3D is a Doom clone. That's a Doom clone. Quake's a Doom clone. He didn't move into first-person shooter. I don't know when he got to using that term, because I didn't live with him, and he was military, so he wasn't always there. So I don't know when that term might have changed for him, but I distinctly remember as a kid having that term thrown at me for the first time then, and all I could think of was like, no, Dad, it's not Doom. It didn't occur to me that that was a descriptive term once upon a time, because I had no idea at that time.
And I grew up with video games very, very early. I think my first games I was playing at age 4. We were playing Duck Hunt, and Duck Hunt at that point was old because the Super Nintendo was already out, and the Sega Genesis came out like a year later. So I was playing video games very early. So I know what Doom clone means, from a very early age, but I know we started calling them first-person shooters around the time Unreal and Quake showed up, because those were clearly not Doom.
Well, yeah, they had an Axis Doom, didn't they?
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, Doom.
Oh my god.
One of the most fascinating things for me is the fact that Doom is actually not a 3D game. It is all a lie. It is a trick. The game does not have a Z-axis. It pretends to have a Z-axis, and that's why when you shoot forward, the gun hits things that are above you, and sometimes you die to something behind you that's on a floor above you. The game does not recognize a Z-axis, and it's fascinating. That said, we are definitely at an hour and a half. We are well. Not only are we well past the hopecore conversation, we are also not well past, only a couple minutes past end time.
We're having fun.
We are having fun. True, but I do want to say, as we are signing off, real quick, one more time, everybody, if you want to go ahead and let people know who you are, where they can find you, and anything else you want to give as any ending words, let me know. We'll start with Crimes New Roman. We'll go in the same order we did last time.
Hello, I am, again, Crimes New Roman. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Crimes New Roman. I also have a Blue Sky where I shitpost and talk about a bunch of things. And Shoutout, Spiritfarer, Sable, and Returnal. Go play them. They're all incredible.
Okay, Kyla?
All right, everybody. You can find me at Kyla T on YouTube, also on Blue Sky, and if you really want to get down like that, you can find me on Tumblr. And
oh my God, Tumblr still exists.
I know my roots. I know my roots. But I think after this, I'm going to play Date Everything, because that is my hopeful, cozy game right there.
I want to play that. It looks like so much fun.
You'll love it.
I am Fiora the Tank Girl. You can find me on YouTube and Twitch. I stream 6 days a week. This is my full-time job. I do a lot of strategy games, a lot of RPGs. Like I said, over on my main channel right now, we're doing Silksong, Final Fantasy VI. I'm doing the last Kingdom Hearts video next week when my computer's fixed. And I think I can start doing the Mass Effect stuff again once my computer's... Yeah, all my mods are over there. So that would help if I had the mods installed, because I'm terrible at modding games. If you want to watch me blow something up, I'll put 800 mods on RimWorld to try to make it work.
Look, I'm just going to say this right now. When I think of the Skyrim experience for anybody, all I can think of is them sending me a message saying I've been doing this for 4 hours and the game is not running yet. So, good luck with that.
When I think of the Skyrim experience, I think of the Macho Man Randy Savage mod for dragons.
Yes, and the swearing crabs.
Ah!
Well, my name is Cirrus. You can find me over at Cirrus, where I talk politics, Cirrus MTG, where I talk Magic the Gathering, Neko Cirrus Live, if you want to see more esoteric stuff, like when I give people cooking lessons, that's a thing that happens over there too. And yeah, then I guess also Third Space Arcade, but I don't need to mention that one because you guys would already be over here, unless you're on an RSS feed, in which case you're weird and old, but also neat. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I really need you to leave, though, and actually go check out the guests on this video. That would be really cool. But the lights are off, so, fuck off.